Good evening, and welcome to Beyond the Battle, Pain, Pageants, and Perspectives, where we aim to bring you uplifting stories that remind you that you're not on this daily struggle bus alone. Today, I will be interviewed by my sometimes co-host Christian, who is here to talk to me about, what it was like to compete in Miss Universe TCP, um, how I'm surviving post pageant hangover. So what it looks like for a job post military career, and so much more. So let's tune in. We have Christian J here. How are you, buddy?
I'm fine.
You're doing fine.
hmm how are you doing after your uh, Miss Universe pageant?
After Miss Universe TCP, I will say I am suffering from a little bit of a post pageant hangover, or some of my fibro thrivers might understand what I'm talking about when I say that I'm suffering from a little bit of a fibromyalgia flare up. It started Wednesday last week, took me through the pageant, and until today, so I'm trying to survive through it. Lots of swollen bones, muscles, lots of itchy skin, lots of digestion issues, but we're making it, and that's what's important.
Do you when you have problems with the digesting food, do you is there like a go-to food that you pick when you have like a flare up like this?
Whenever I have a flare up like this, I try to eat a lot of green leafy foods or food specific that will kind of force or help me to have a bowel movement. So, just in general,
So like oats and stuff.
yeah, oats, fibers, fiber chews, that kind of stuff.
Okay. Um. Well, how did you select this pageant this time around opposed to?
Selecting a pageant is pretty important. As you
Yeah.
see, I'm wearing the t-shirt for the Pledge Campaign Foundation, which is the 501c3 nonprofit that hosts the pageant for Miss Universe TCP, and TCP stands for Transcontinental Pageants. And on this one, I thought that it was important to choose this pageant because of what it stood for. The Pledge Campaign Foundation aims to raise awareness for those who are affected by domestic violence. And domestic violence comes in many forms. It can be verbal, it can be emotional, psychological, it can be physical, and it can come in a combination of forms. And so when I looked at the current platform that I already have developed, which is Continue and Courage, I like how I was able to tie in the Pledge Campaign Foundation's domestic violence as a contributing factor significantly affecting women that are homeless.
Cool. Um. Yeah, that's cool.
So it was unique that in this pageant we had women from all around the world, not just representing their heritage, but actually representing their country of origin. So we had, the Mrs. Ukraine, the Ms. Ukraine. We had Bulgaria, Latvia, Romania. We have Luxembourg. We have South Carolina, Venezuela. There were so many different countries and states represented. It was truly amazing to meet these women of strength and courage.
Yeah. I'm sure you met like a bunch of interesting people there, right? And then not to mention you had like family from out of town that was there.
I did. So I think that everybody's story was unique to them, and uniquely powerful. And that is pretty awesome. You know what I mean? Like everybody, no two people were telling this very same story. But I will have to say that my roomie, South Carolina, Shannon Morgan, was pretty fun. And the first person I met there when I first got there was Jane, from Ukraine, and her name is very difficult for me to pronounce. It's Yehina Shapovalova. I'm messing it up. But anyway, Jane, if you're listening, she's pretty cool. We spent the first day and a half just by ourselves getting to know each other, getting to hear the stories of the country. As we know that Ukraine is at war, and she's a cafe owner, and her husband does many great things in the community. So she ended up being the first runner up in my division. So congratulations to Jane, and Mrs. Venezuela ended up taking the category, taking our division.
Well, speaking of which, what division were you competing for?
I was in the Mrs. division, the married division, and I competed in this division as I wanted to stay closer in my age group, but if I compete moving forward, and that's an if, I will definitely be moving up in the age category as I'm not as young as I'd like to believe.
Would you continue doing this? Like, are you after your last pageant, and not necessarily the outcome, but just the experience of doing it at the timing that you did, like how old you are and whatnot. Do you think that you could see yourself doing this like for long term?
So I will say that I exceptionally enjoy um, pageanting, and I enjoy having my platform and knowing that my platform is valuable and understood by those around me. Homeless women veterans should not be um, a phrase that we have to worry about. Women veterans should be taken care of and at the forefront of each one of our minds as um, they sacrificed their lives for the freedom of the country and the home of the brave.
Looks like I'm the only one here. So, uh-oh. We got technical difficulties going on here. Well, my day is pretty good. I cleaned up a little bit. That's really about it. I watched How I Met Your Mother. I'm on season 7 right now. It's pretty good. Right now, I think, spoiler alerts for anybody who hasn't watched the show that finished in 2014, but pretty sure where I'm at right now, Lily just gave birth. Marshall is coming back from, I think, a casino. He was like supposed to be taking a break from trying to I don't know, he's being too much of a father, I guess. I don't know. Weird thing to complain about, in my opinion. But I guess he needed like a mental health day, so his buddy took him to Atlantic City, where they gambled, and then she was in labor while gambling, and they turned their phones off, so they didn't get any like calls or anything like that. He made it in time though, because it's a TV show. Well, I was not expecting to be here this long.
Sorry.
You can just. It's just it just says Chris. Is it connected to the internet? Oh. Got a haircut recently. I cut it myself actually. There's a piece of my hair that's actually just super long back here because I missed a spot. It kind of freaks me out sometimes. I think it's a spider web. I'm supposed to be cutting it off, but I forget to. Kind of just lazy. It's cool though. Maybe I'll grow it out like one of those rat tails, but like on the side, and like how people wear those sideways hats. But instead of it's just how I grow my hair.
Almost ready. Thank you. My sometimes co-hosts are filling in as we had difficulties. My apologies to you, Sunshine. So anyway, as we were discussing, this particular pageant, it was pretty great in that the aligned with my current platform of continuing courage, where I advocate from a veteran, and so advocating for those that are affected by domestic violence was an easy addition to my platform, as domestic violence is a significant contributing factor to those women that are suffering from homelessness at this time.
Sick. I don't know what else to say after that. Do you have any questions or anything there?
So let's chit chat a little bit. So you are currently, since the last time you were on the show, you were thinking about going in the military, and now you're in the point of picking out your own MOS. You're at the point of picking out, you know, what you want to do career-wise, and that's pretty exciting, huh?
I guess it depends on how you use the word, right? It's not anything like particularly adrenaline boosting, but you know, it's cool.
It's when you're old enough to pick out, you know, your job and start your career and your pension. That's a big deal.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like it's just as much as a big deal as like going to college for something.
Right. So, what interests you most?
Probably infantry still.
Infantry still. Um, if there's anybody out there watching in the comments, and you know about different MOS choices, please chime in. Tell them what you think. Infantry, yes. Infantry, no. Why or why not? We'll see what those of you have to say. Um, so let's talk about what's what's most important about you going into the military. Is it family legacy? Is it independence? Is it doing what you want to do? What is it about going into the military for you that's most exciting?
Probably how much I can get off the sign-on bonus. I think that's kind of important.
The sign-on bonus, always important. Has the recruiter talked to you about what sign-on bonuses are available to you yet, or are you still waiting for that?
No, we're still
You're still in the early stages.
still in the pretty early stages. I have until June 14th to talk to a recruiter, and you know, if he doesn't want to talk to me, I'll just go in to. I don't know. I don't even. I don't think I've ever. Is there like a headquarters?
Your recruiter is a nice guy, and he is talking to you just fine. So that leads me into talking about what it's like post-military to find jobs. It seems like the job market is saturated in my field right now.
Which field is that?
Healthcare compliance.
What is that?
Healthcare compliance is making sure that the agency by which I work for is following the local, state, and federal laws and regulations governing certain things, i.e., how they're billing with billing codes, how records are kept, It talks about, the organization's overall mission and how they built what they built their licensure on, saying what they were going to do, their policies and procedures that they have on hand for staff as far as, the employee handbook and those kinds of things, just how the organization runs.
So it's not an easy thing to get into.
It might be an easy thing to get into. Is it not everybody likes being down in the weeds and the thorns when it comes to policy and procedure, and I really, really like being in the systems and processes portion.
Okay. So you just get to hang out all day, basically, going through paperwork and just.
I spend a lot of time reviewing and analyzing data. You said that so flat. That doesn't sound fun to you?
No.
Don't you want to know the culture of your organization and how it runs?
I have a hard time reading a sentence in a book without having to go back over it a lot of the time. So
you're so funny.
I don't think I want to look at anything for a long time.
I think it's been challenging in finding work as a retiree, in that everything is so political. It's about who you know, not as much about what you know. And the organizations that are doing great in the company in what they're doing have a lot of people that have been on the job for a long, long time.
Hard to get experience in something like that, right?
Right. It's hard to break into when people love their job and don't necessarily want to leave. You know what I mean?
I mean, I feel like with jobs like that, where like it's like lawyer based and like law stuff, a lot of those jobs, it's really like about like the schools you go to. I feel like that's like, you ever watch Suits or like Curtis Suits? Like the dude, like the main dude that has like the memory, like the really good memory and stuff. Like he pretends to go to Harvard. He knows that like that law firm only hires from Harvard and stuff. It's like, so it's like, I know it's like kind of like a half joke, but I'm pretty sure that's like real. Like there are certain law firms that will only hire from certain schools. Right. So it's like I can imagine that anything within like law kind of thing is pretty difficult. Since like I don't know, it feels kind of like a law related jobs is kind of like going to like a bodybuilding show, right? Like it's really hard to like do good whenever you're competing against like Mr. Olympia, right? But like Mr. Olympia is not Mr. Olympia; it's just some guy that went to Harvard, and you went to some other school that's not Harvard, right? Like I don't know. I think it's just kind of like something to think about.
I am very proud to be a St. Mary's School of Law grad. I think that my work there and the professors were all pretty amazing and allowed me to use my work experience as an auditor and in the military as an effective means of completing my assignments and answering questions. My experience, I was able to complete assignments based on the fact that I did have so much experience. And so, I can get down with that. It's just really challenging in an area where there's so many healthcare affiliated jobs. And it's the home of Army medicine. You don't want to downplay how the hiring happens, but you definitely know that it's a who you know and not what you know. It's about who's in your networking corner. And that might be one of the things that I say that I don't do well. I don't attend a whole lot of the networking mixers and different things like that because I feel like my resume should stand on its own. But apparently, that's what I need to do.
I mean, I feel like it makes things a lot more interesting, right? Like to be able to go to those mixers and talk about. I don't really know what a mixer is. It sounds like a party then.
It's almost like a networking party. You go and get to meet people in different industries and with different job backgrounds. And, you know, over time, who knows? That person might be on your hiring panel and might have an opportunity that's available to you in their organization. And because they know you and they know your work ethic and what you do, you know, they'll be able to recommend you or refer you for that job. So now it's kind of one of those situations where I just kind of need to place myself out there. Um, and you know, I as Miss Texas University, I put myself out there in the means of, you know, speaking and engaging. But how do I apply that to various aspects of finding a job that pays a suitable income so that I can continue to take care of you boys?
Yeah.
That's the challenging part.
I mean, you know, just open up a bakery.
Because I can bake, right? When was the last time you had a cookie that I made fresh? But
Well, I mean, if you ask me what's like the last time I had like anything baked, I'd probably say like a few years.
we've had baked goods like 2 weeks ago, but like were they my baked goods? No, because
You made brownies the one time.
I made brownies
You make brownies more often than you make cookies.
because I don't make cookies.
We also don't have a lot of chocolate chips that often, and nobody in this house
Eat
doesn't
many
eat.
chocolate.
I do. I could eat that many chocolate chips. I could eat more than that many chocolate chips.
I'm sure you could. However, health wise,
We were like
and
13.
by who pays your dental bill?
I've never had I only had a cavity one time at 17 or 16. Sorry. So.
And who paid that cavity bill?
Oh, you mean the one that I had for the first time in almost 2
Does
decades?
it
Okay.
change the
Wait,
fact that you didn't pay
When you go
for
to
it?
James has like 5. James eats like every Sunday, Monday through. I'm just saying. I feel like out of everybody here, I eat the most candy and I have the least amount of cavities. So I could. My dental bill is not that high.
Your dental bill is not that high. I can get down with that. So, since we don't have any other guests on the show this week, and this week was kind of a break and just catching up on everything, let's take a minute to why pageantry, right? Why all the things? And there's so many different things going on in the world, like people needing jobs and people needing food and all the different things. Why am I still doing pageantry?
I mean, I feel like what most of your pageants do, like stuff that involve other people. I know that the last pageant you did, not the most recent one, but the last one you did a lot of really good stuff to help the community that also went towards promoting yourself for the pageant. So I guess it kind of doubles up because the first pageant was Miss Veteran America, and that involved a lot of charity work that was, you know, for female veterans
Right.
and female homeless veterans alike. And yeah, you did a lot of good community. You kind of made a name for yourself. And then your second pageant, you kind of like really upped it. You did a lot more. You did a lot of good. You got a lot of attention from very important people and pretty important organizations. Not to mention the pageants also were like requesting you to like have a special job too, right? If you were supposed to be doing stuff, you've been judging for other pageants,
I have.
which is pretty impressive, which is a big deal. And then you went to do this pageant, which also incorporates more charity and just good faith work uh, as a promotional tool. So, I mean, I feel like in the grand scheme of things, doing these pageants, while yes, at face value, it kind of seems like a beauty pageant kind of thing. And it's, I mean, in the long run, it's very good for the community. It promotes growth and promotes positivity, even if it is just for a crown.
But it's not just for a crown. You know, advocacy is not just about a crown. Advocacy is about living a life of purpose and meaning, and helping others and making a tangible difference. And so, although the crown is a benefit and sometimes is a means of opening doors to some that would not necessarily be open, it's about making a difference in your community. And that's what I like the most. And, you know, with the Pledge Campaign Foundation, one of the things that has been kind of cool is that um, domestic violence has been around for years and years and years and years. However, COVID highlighted how truly devastating domestic violence can be.
Austin kind of like caused a lot more of it to happen.
I wouldn't say that it caused a lot more of it to happen as much as I would say that it caused it to be unveiled.
I don't know. I feel like unveiled for sure, but I think being at home with kids for a lot longer than you would like to be definitely would cause a lot more spanking.
I don't know. Well, then I guess that I'm blessed that you guys are good boys because I don't feel like I needed to spank you guys as much or at all in saying that. But for some people, it highlighted mental health issues, it highlighted family financial issues, it highlighted marital issues, and so on and so much more.
Yeah.
And so, again, that's why I would say that it was unveiled opposed to just have more. People just weren't speaking about it much. But when you're watching the news and you're seeing an 8-month-old baby being stuffed in the microwave, or such and such so and so's child is being beaten and killed by somebody's boyfriend or vice versa, it just really is a lot. And when everybody's on lockdown, there's less ways of hiding it.
Yeah, just kind of right. So while you were, I think you said Georgia, right? That was where you were for your newest one. Yeah. Did you? I mean, aside from going to the hotel and practicing for a pageant and stuff, did you go out and like look at other stuff? Like, what was your time in Georgia like?
So we had some pretty long days, and we spent some time just out visiting the city of Atlanta, getting familiar with Atlanta. We spent some time at the aquarium. We took lots of photos. We spent time out in the city of McDonough as a whole, and we did some sightseeing around the city square. And we got to meet a lot of the locals. We also did a service project at a place called Gigi's House. And this is a place that is full of stories of strength and stories of courageousness as these individuals have spent a portion of their life being in human trafficking. So
oh, wow.
It was a experience meeting these individuals and letting them speak to us as we poured into them and told them our stories of strength and courage so that they knew that they were not alone.
That's a great thing.
It's pretty dope, I think. I think that the director, Sabrina, has something really kind of going for her.
Well, what are your plans going forward from pageantry? Are you gonna do another pageant, or are you going to focus more on school? And you're about to get your master's, doctorate. You're about to finish your doctorates pretty soon. I mean, you have like 5 more classes to go.
I am almost at the halfway point of my doctoral program, and I hope that in the next several months that I am, because I need to do so, not because I want to, but I do want to, but I really, really need to narrow down my thesis and start putting together a plan for my thesis. But as far as moving forward, pageantry-wise, I believe that representation matters, and I saw a lot of great things, and as I researched, I realized that there are people that look like me in pageantry, but there's not a whole lot. And one of the things that was kind of whispered in my ear during this last go round was really just talking about keeping going and opening doors for those behind me. And when I grew up, this was not a door that was open to everyone. Um, and this is no longer pageantry is no longer a place for a specific demographic, socioeconomic, or ethnic background. Pageantry is open to anybody who can afford the fees and different things that come with it. So um, I think I want to continue with pageantry, but I think I want to do pageantry.
Like, what do you mean? Like different?
I will showcase this a little bit more to come, but I think that um, there are more doors and avenues that should be open to others in the pageantry realm, and we'll see this a little bit more as I move forward in pageantry. But I will have a new segment on the show called Pageantry Tea. So most of you guys know about talking and spilling the tea. So we're going to start spilling some pageantry tea in the later episodes coming up starting the new year. So stay tuned for pageantry tea.
I don't think I have anything else to really talk about.
Well, this is a shorter episode since it is just you and I. And so I will close it out with this. Pageantry brings people from all walks of life and all backgrounds. Pageantry isn't just made for one specific type of people or those that belong to certain industries, such as dance or, makeup, hair and makeup. Pageantry is open to anyone. Advocacy, again, is not just about wearing the crown, but it's about living a life of purpose and making a tangible difference. And here, as Kendra Harrelson, that is my goal, is to make a tangible difference. I am pursuing my doctoral degree so that I can help write healthcare legislation, improving healthcare legislation, not just for the seniors and those that are suffering from, prematurity mortality rates or different things like that. We are talking about advocating for all different kinds of causes. And my cause, Continuing Courage, starting at this new year, I hope to have the stepping stones to turn it into a nonprofit. Continuing Courage will advocate for homeless women veterans and those affected by domestic violence. As we know, at least 50% of women that are homeless say that they are homeless due to some sort of domestic violence situation, and that it is a significant and critical issue facing those vulnerable women. And I want to ensure that I take the time and I bring resources to those in need. November 16th, partnering with Imperial Elite Music, Joseph Chapman, and Norlise. We will be collecting hygiene products for those veterans that are affected by homelessness. So if you're interested in donating, please see the flyer attached and pinned to my Facebook page and reach out to Mr. Chapman or myself, and we will help you collect the items that you have up for donation. Again, we are collecting hygiene products for those veterans affected by homelessness. Thank you for taking your time to tune in today to be on the ballot. Pain Pageants in Perspective, where we aim to bring you uplifting stories that remind you that you are not on this daily struggle alone. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for your care. And thank you for supporting me on my journey as I reach out and provide resources to those around me. I can't do any of the things that I do within the community or with pageantry without all of you wonderful and delightful supporters. So until next time, stay tuned, be prepared, and I'll talk to you later.
I do have one more question.
Oh,
What are you gonna do for Halloween?
On the way out, he asked, what am I doing for Halloween? while my husband is in Hawaii having a frolicking good time, I think that you, son, will be helping me take the little son trick or treating.
I meant like what we're gonna dress up as, not like
We have a Boba Fett.
what are you gonna dress up as?
Ahsoka Tano. What are you dressing up as?
Plumber.
Is your crack hanging out? Plumber's crack?
They wear overalls. They have their cracks hanging out.
Oh.
Haven't seen a modern plumber before. Actually, I don't know. It's only mechanics that wear overall. I thought plumbers used to wear overalls. Actually, no. We had a plumber come to the house before, and he was wearing overalls. So I don't even know where plumber's crack comes from. The ones that don't wear overalls? Well, I feel like that should change the name to it.
Is that what should happen?
Yeah, I feel like it can't just be plumber's crack. I think that gives them like a bad name. Not all plumbers wear pants. Some of them wear unitards.
And on that note, until next time, watch us next week on Beyond the Battle, Game Pageants and Perspective, with one of our contestants from Dr. Wolf Productions. See you next time. Bye-bye. See you next time. Bye-bye.